think it's worked out very well for them. So they might want to revise the strategy as they move into the last game.
OMG fans, unfortunately, the team they're cheering on isn't doing too hot at this tournament either. Despite our high expectations for them, a lot of fans still in the crowd waiting, hoping that they would pull out something. Wow, that is insane cosplay.
Yeah, nice cosplay indeed. We're looking forward to see how some of these teams perform as we move into the final game of the day. Round number 8, game number 4 of today. Once again, ERANGEL on first person perspective. I think we're going to a short little break before the game officially.
Just watch some magnificent, bloody PUBG action.
超級管家一番努力，各路英雄終於由一味嘥電變到識得慳電，咁就輪到我叉叉電啦。
管家，屋企有冇慳多咗電？
有冇自潮嘅慳電產品推介啫？
好 easy 啫，有中電咁多元化嘅服務 ，check 住屋企用電，揀節能電器，無論想點喺邊度都搞掂。中電智慧你，綠色生活更便利。
手機咁快冇電嘅？
搞暗個 mon 就慳到電咯。喂，醫生。
Look beyond the walls of Hong Kong's famous skyscrapers to see a different Hong Kong. A Hong Kong with wall-to-wall creativity, from street art and furniture design to creativity as diverse as Hong Kong itself. From fashion innovation to gaming animation and art in all its many different forms. These and so much more make up the rich cosmopolitan creative hub that is our Hong Kong. Why not make it yours?
Esports and Music Festival is the first ever event that Hong Kong Tourism Board organized. The purpose for organizing the event is to further promote Hong Kong as a destination for the younger generation.
好高興我哋 PCCW Global 成為大會指定嘅國際網絡供應商。PCCW Global is committed to delivering the best network solutions so gamers can always perform at their best.
咁今次 PCCW Global 提供俾我哋嘅服務就係一個國際光纖網絡服務啦。咁就係將我哋會場連接到去比賽 server 同埋全球嘅直播網絡，咁可以俾到我哋喺一個好穩定嘅情況底下直播賽事去全世界。
PCCW Global provide the esports industry with outstanding IT infrastructure and technical support, letting gamers focus on gaming.
PCCW Global, connecting gamers globally.
Hey guys, welcome back for our final game of the day. I'm Gimnism, and with me is Hungry, and we have, I think we owe you guys a little bit of an explanation. We've gone and been ahead of schedule.
Strangely enough, yeah, we have been ahead of schedule, and because there is a guest of honor that's supposed to give away the prize and everything at the end of the tournament, so kind of delaying stuff a while to make sure everyone arrives on time, gets to a nice, smooth roll. Don't want to be too early, if not, it's just going to be another awkward pause. But that being said, we've had some great games today. Game 4 should be coming up relatively soon. I'm waiting for word from our production team. Cloud9 now in the front of the pack, leading in first place.
Yeah, we're looking at Cloud9, who have managed to assert dominance in this game so far. The 7 games that they played have already seen them put themselves in a pretty steady lead on top of FaZe Clan with about a 300-point gap. And that gap only compounds as you move further down the ladder. So once again, take a look at the scoreboards. Refund at 16, Flash Wolves at 15, 17 Gaming 14, Sun Sisters at 13. Game Dimension Esports at 12, so having dropped down since the start of the day. LGD at 11, TSM at 10th, and then OMG at 9th.
Yeah, you would think that the teams at this point, you know, mathematically eliminated, don't have anything to play for, but we were just discussing the value of them coming in as teams that can play spoiler, can deny first place away. If they play more aggressively, maybe try to go all in onto some of the pack, the teams in front of the pack, rather.
Yeah, so they could go and look to be a just to spoil some of the games that they were looking to see towards the very end. For some of the teams that are ahead right now, they are looking at a pretty solid position, but we still have the 8th to 6th place teams, and those guys are in a bit more of a precarious spot, so they could end up dropping the second half of the groups.
The calculation about, you know, which team could possibly still make it to top 1 and top 3, and there were some numbers involved regarding, I believe it was anyone below Arrow Wolf Esports.
Yeah, so Arrow Wolf and below, at that point, you really have very little chance of making it to beat Cloud9 unless they literally lose first immediately.
For top 3, I remember, if I'm not wrong, for top 3, it's Arrow Wolf and Rocket that can still sort of make it in. They could break the ranks of top 3, but as you mentioned...
Nah, I think Rocket's way too far at this point. It's just Arrow Wolf still has a chance of making it to top 3, so he could still try. They can still try and pull this position away if they manage to win the match and then outplace the likes of FaZe and the likes of Liquid. But for the most part, I think Rocket are too far behind. I think it's like a 600-point gap between.
Well, first is 500. If you get 6 kills, you more or less catch up. So you could still, in theory, it would have to have everything go completely in your way for it to happen, but still a slim, extremely small chance as team.
I mean, by that logic and everything from like 6th, like 8th, you could just
but then the math doesn't work out. It's only 6 that, just because of the way the number works.
Yeah, so you win first place and you kill everybody else in the game. So we're like realistically, we're looking at it. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, sure, it's valid enough, but okay.
That being said, Team Liquid already planning their way to chase up.
So looking to try and hold that position down. Cloud9 sitting in front of the pack. Now it's down to FaZe and Liquid to try and pull forward. Liquid a little bit further away than they would like to be. Having a little bit of a rough game coming into the first 2 games of today. So the Miramar and ERANGEL maps before that still plays decently, but not as well as they would like, so the gap is growing between them and C9. Otherwise, FaZe in a good position to try and pull forward, so enough of a point gap that they could still, if Cloud9 hold that first place, or come in 2nd or 3rd, they could still maintain the position ahead of FaZe just ever so slightly, even if FaZe comes in first.
Interesting to see the difference in strategy pre-game. Team Liquid already sitting around the screen and planning possibly for their strategy when they drop, what the execution is going to be like. Let's take a look at the interview here with the players.
这次我们的目标一样是冠军。大家可能只知道我们在 PGI 的一种打法，我们的 ONG 是很多风格多样的打法。我们的目标是冠军。
我们来自 AHQ 的 PUBG 战队，然后我们在上次打完 PGI 世界赛之后，有更换队员，我们新增了 Milk 牛奶还有 SR 这2个新成员之后，我们希望在这次的香港的比赛里面可以拿到更好的成绩。 所以我们希望在这次的新成员进来，可以拿到更好的成绩，然后击败他们。
大家好，我们是闪电狼，我们很开心可以来到香港参加这个国际性的赛事，那也很开心能够跟 世界各地的强队进行比赛。那我们的风格比较属于保守型的，然后队友其实该冲的时候都会冲，那我就是在后面指挥。那希望大家能帮我们加油，我们会尽全力打好比赛。
我们的队伍比较偏向于前中期逼战，然后后期开始发力，然后最近我们的队伍风格也整体变得比较猛烈一些，然后我们希望这一次比赛能遇到像 Face、Liquid 的这种的队伍吧，希望能跟他们交手，然后对于这次比赛我们也是希望能有个好的成绩，希望能拿到冠军。
GD switching to a more aggressive play style as of late, and just a couple roster changes for HQ as well. Said LGD hasn't had too good of a performance at this tournament. Neither has HQ, and these Eastern teams, there is starting to be this divide being set up between the Western and Eastern teams in terms of skill and just overall performance.
Yeah, overall performance, we've been looking at the Eastern teams not performing as well as they would have liked. We see a surprising upset coming in from the Southeast Asian teams. Aerowolf, who have managed to place 4th so far and down to the last game for them. They can still have a chance to try and pull things forward, but overall, as you mentioned, looking like a bit of a divide between the Eastern and Western teams. OMG, a team that we had expected to do very well coming in, has in fact flopped and not managed to meet the expectations for a lot of the fans. So I'm wondering what their plans are moving into the last game. They've talked about how they had a strong support infrastructure that's led to them having more information against their opponents. So question the kind of preparation that they've had for this competition and the kind of moves that they want to make in this last game, and a desperate attempt to try and push in at least to the top half finish.
Same applies to the team from Indonesia, Aerowolf Gaming. There are still some things to be desired as to how they could play and possibly upset the top 3. Reverse is true as well. Not too much infrastructure coming in from the Indonesian teams in terms of just FPS and PUBG. Don't really hear the Indonesian teams going all out across the world in terms of FPS. Rory here, the player spotlight for TSM, and talk to me more about this team. I mean, coming in, there are some issues with shot calling. Day 2 not looking all too much better.
Yeah, TSM have unfortunately looked to be a little bit lackluster in the ways that they've been going about the game. I mean, they've talked about it before. Generally regarded as a team who have pretty decent players overall. Individually, they're able to play, but when it comes to a matchup of towards the sum of their parts, we recognize that there are a couple of flaws that they have, and some indecisiveness has led to them losing out a couple of situations. The first day, however, we saw them perform a lot better than we had expected, placing decently well for some of the games, but as of late, we've seen them now getting caught out during rotations and losing out players slowly. They get bled out. It's cost them the games moving forward.
Such was the case in Game 1 and 2, where multiple members would get dropped individually. They'll just get picked off, straying around. TSM not really moving as a cohesive unit or as a squad, which is really the name of the game when it comes to these long-term developments, where you have to have that communication on point, the teamwork.
I really look forward to somebody doing some kind of like stare down compilation for this tournament. So far, some of these players have been pretty funny about it, but now waiting on a little bit more before we head into game.
Just to remind our viewers what is on stake here. First place, I believe, takes 75,000 USD home. And the total pool is about 150 USD, so that's about half. A good sizable chunk of it.
So taking the lion's share, everybody wants to be able to come in and grab the large prize pool. But so far, the teams in contention for that, Cloud9 and FaZe, are the only 2 teams that could look to try and pull it away from C9 at the top right. Cloud9 and FaZe holding out for the top 2 position. Liquid following right after, but it's a very difficult position for Liquid to try and pull forward to rob it away from Cloud9. Instead, it's up to Liquid at this point to try and find the early execute on the C9 if they still want to maintain first place.
Should be jumping into game relatively soon. The final game for today, ladies and gentlemen, but don't go anywhere because I do believe we will have the Zotac Masters CSGO matches after this. Being said, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching the Hong Kong PUBG Invitational. It has been a roller coaster ride between the ups and downs from multiple teams. So just back to us as we wait for the players to jump into game. Transitioning in, you can see on the screen behind us already the map is up and we should be up and running in a couple of seconds. C9 looking to establish and complete the dominance here at this tournament. Meanwhile, FaZe and Liquid want to pull the rug underneath their North American counterparts.
So we're looking at the standings and we're trying to figure out exactly who still has a chance at this point. So between Cloud9 and FaZe, those two are looking for that first place finish. Following right after, Liquid still might be looking to pull it away from FaZe if they move into this game well.
Oh, hello. 3 teams actually playing around military base this time. It's going to be Sun Sisters that do a split drop on the southeastern and northwestern side of this island. So adaptations already being made this game off a very, very deep east to west swing off the plane.
Teams moving back to traditional positions. FaZe on the west, as you mentioned. Sun Sisters now joining GDE and I believe his rocket armor over on the military base island. So we need to see how that pans out. Otherwise, expecting to see teams like Flash Wolves push up towards Kamishki. They've played before. Liquid should be getting their vehicles trying to rotate over back to Yasnaya, back to their space.
Because of the path of the plane early on, that sort of forces all the teams to default to a different strategy, and Wen is running away with the shotgun to his back. It's going to be Ibiza that picks it up, walking up to get the face shot in, and that's going to be Liquid on the board early. Minute 45 seconds in, getting the shots down, and because of that deep pathing from the plane, everyone was forced to hot drop around each other.
Executing firing squad following after. You see Liquid collect the first kill of the game. Wolf looking for a couple shots onto HK9, looking to try and take them down.
Someone on the back of Ibiza looking for the revenge, but not going to get it as his teammate drives by with the motorcycle to pick him up. That's your Uber and that's your way out.
17 looking for a couple of shots. Someone not able to find anything just yet.
Lines up a few bullets. I think he tags up maybe 70. I didn't really get the exact confirmation on that one, but nonetheless, he's going to get out, as you mentioned.
So now moving into this last game for us, we are watching out for how some of these teams are looking to try and play things out. Again, Cloud9 FaZe continue to maintain the top pole position. Following after, Liquid has a chance to try and pull things away from FaZe, but with a 300-point gap, it's difficult for himself as well. Oh, not 300-point gap. Actually, it's only about a 100-point gap. So actually, decent position for Liquid. Still difficult for them to manage to come in for the steal on first place, though. Provided Cloud9 maintain a decent number, maintain a decent half-place finish in this game, would still be safe away from Liquid.
Suffice to say, there is a small gap that they can work with to guarantee that they get first, but that is if they finish middle of the pack. If they drop early, then their fate is in the hands of Liquid and FaZe Clan.
Right, and then past that, Arrow Wolf very far away from being able to contest for their first place, and Rocket as well, so difficult for those teams to now look for the first place. Instead, could still try and push in for the top 3. Mainly going to be on the back of Airwolf, though. Rocket's still pretty far away.
I want to talk about the spread here because on the western side of the map, it's a pretty good spread, but on the east near Melta Power, there's 4 teams just congested around there. It's LGD, Refund Gaming, and HQ. And slightly to the left of that is Team 17, so a bit of a tight pack and squeeze there.
Yeah, Refund, once again, no place they can really call home. They just move around to wherever they want to be. Interesting that we see them now close by LGD, who have maintained this position for themselves throughout the rest of these entire games that we've seen.
HK9 now, the team that finished second, I believe, in the second game. So far, it's been a quiet early game, apart from that one early kill from Ibiza.
Yeah, Ibiza getting that early kill, not going to be too big of a difference, I think. I think definitely helps Liquid towards the goal of being able to achieve that win towards the very end. Cloud9 still holding a pretty good position for themselves. So you can see both teams, Liquid in Yasnaya and Cloud9 NA over by Georgia Pole, over in South Georgia Pole, are both a little bit ways away from the edge of the circle. So I'm wondering if they want to start pushing in and try and look for a heavy engage in the center of the play zone. Unfortunately, the plane drop means that they ended up having to take a little bit longer to try and move into a position they could start farming from.
Yeah, the starting route for the plane, like we said, it was really deep south. So for them to transition over to their default starting position takes a bit too long.
Yeah, so this costs them time to start loading up. So generally, if you have that 30-minute window to try and get a pretty quick farm up, that's not going to happen. It's not going to be the case for games like this.
Hence, slightly more delayed, I would say.
Yeah, definitely more delayed entry points into the play zone, into a spot where you could try to hold down from. Liquid has been a very big fan of that strategy, moving into a central area and then trying to control from there. And then it makes it very easy for them to try and move into the next parts of the map. But right now, it's a little bit more difficult. They have to spend a little bit more time trying to farm up, and they won't be able to rotate as quickly, or they might find themselves a little bit unglued. So I'm looking forward to see what they choose to do in this last game.
GDE here, opting to go with the split. JY's off on his own. Meanwhile, Rocket Armor pushing in past the island, off the bridge. We'll be looking at HQ on their right, but we'll be deciding to opt away from that. So despite minimal knowledge of the positioning of HQ, they go the other way, which is 50-50, but a good guess.
Yeah, Rocket Armor still want to be able to place this point. Unlikely to manage to get into the top 3.
Well, Homeboy doesn't have any weapons here, I think.
Still has a good chance to place top 5. So at this point, looking to try and rotate around a little bit. GDE versus Sun Sisters. And Sun Sisters has been the team who has not had a lucky break at all. Looking for aggressive fights. They push in to try and set the pace for themselves.
JY pushing down the slope will set his sights onto Gabe. Has the weapons to deal with him, but deferring away in vector and direction is going to avoid him.
Meanwhile, C9NA making an earlier call to move in. So it's a direct contrast from what Liquid's doing. Liquid's taking the time before they start trying to push in.
Yeah.
C9NA, on the other hand, are looking to try and move in earlier on. And then from there, they want to establish control of the play zone. So they prioritize being able to move into a more central position, rotating around the play zone above.
Sense though strategically, because if they want to be the last team alive, all they have to do is just control the play zone and get in early. Then they can start to aim for the positioning points. Finally finding him, JY getting the shots down. Knocks Gabe down, and meanwhile Rocket Armor will take the fight against 17. Bit of an issue there in terms of the vehicles. It was going to blow up and then end up killing a member, and the second one going down the way of Hexa. 17, the Chinese team, might be the first to fall here in this final game for today.
Rocket now looking to slowly inch forward. Waiting on this position. On the run this side, GDE have collapsed on the Sun Sister as well. The kill, now HQ taking a couple shots from LGD.
HQ managed to make it out safe. We'll hear the gunfire, but will not take any damage. You know, GDE here pushing in over, as you mentioned, the bridge from military base. Last member of Team 17 here running away, Atong, is, well, the hopes of his team rest on his shoulders, and I'm just going to say they shouldn't hope too much considering their overall weaker performance this tournament.
Yeah, it's been a little bit lackluster from the team. So it's difficult for them to try and move in, and FaZe actually managed to get a nice little pickup for the supply crane. Now moving in with the vehicle as well to get the little pickup.
Look at the tier 3, so FaZe happy with that supply crate.
So moving back onto the point between the two different playstyles coming in from C9NA as well as Liquid. Liquid opting for more time to find farm. They might be looking for a wider rotation to try and push into the play zone, especially since there's quite a bit of open space along the top side that they could try and move in from.
That's what we come to expect from Liquid though. Them just taking the wider rotation out to get a safer angle for re-entry. Sun Sisters here, Sinway is going to get the kill onto Kane, so GDE lose one as well. Despite putting themselves early ahead with that kill onto M17, or M17 rather, Team 17.
So GDE get neutralized. But overall, yeah, Liquid as team have seen themselves very adaptable. They've chosen different strategies between wider rotations, between moving into the play zone early on as well. So this time around, waiting on the wide rotation, looking to try and play things safer, making a move in only when they absolutely have to. And from there, they can try to look to penetrate into an open space. HK9, Floyd gets taken down.
It's a good shot through, and Xiaohai getting the damage done for OMG. In front, Mong is just going to abandon his teammate. There's nothing he can do, of course, getting the execute down. Sun Sisters finding GDE. They were on the same area together earlier on, playing around military base, but the Japanese representatives will get the drop on the Hong Kong home team.
Both teams moving out from military base, and we see one of them being able to come up ahead of the other. It's going to see GDE fall in a bad position early on to this game. Pochinki now going to be the space that Aerowolf are working around. If another game ends up in Pochinki, man, that would be an insane double game for Aerowolf off the back of an incredible game to win.
Yeah, all cards on the table. The game which ended in Pochinki yesterday almost made me lose my voice. So if this is the way the series ends today, it's going to be a bloodbath.
GDE now actually looking to come in from the other side, opting to move away from where Sun Sisters have set up base and control around the bottom pocket of that bridge, and FaZe also in position to try and intercept them if they try and move forward.
GDE had no choice because they tried to push past the river and then they tried to push into the bridge but got taken out, so this forces them to make a different rotation off the other bridge.
Liquid now rotating over into Refund Gaming. Liquid having pushed over from Yas9 at some point, see themselves over, still in the play zone, but it looked like they want to rotate over to the right-hand side, but they feel like there's a little bit more space and better terrain control for themselves. FaZe now looking to make them move over as well. The play zone having shifted over to that end means that some of these teams now have to try and push deeper in if they want to get a good spot. HK9.
Oh, turns the corner and will find the kill on Aitong Singh with a bullet to the face, and is going to start looting his dead body after that as well. Jeez, that was dirty.
Yeah, I mean, that was weird. I was looking at the mini map. I was like, there's a player there. Where's the player? Comes around, gets the kill. 17 get wiped out. It's a very early first team being removed from the game.
Thought he set the trap. In fact, he was the one that was trapped behind that door, and now Lion KK taking the fight to Maxi from FaZe. Car arriving to provide additional cover. This is the guy that won the MVP in FPP for PGI. Shots down across, spraying the bullets onto the car. It's a Hail Mary now, switching over. Ammunition running low. It's going to reload.
What a hero coming in with the vehicle, looking for the save on his teammate. FaZe managed to maintain a 4-man strong position.
Problem now is they don't have the vehicle to get out, so they need the smokes, they need the utility. Otherwise, it has to be the assist coming in from the teammates to fetch them out of this terrible, terrible situation.
Talking about the smokes and the utility, here we go. FaZe setting up a wall of cover. Should be looking to try and back out pretty soon.
Lion KK spraying down the wall of smoke being set up by FaZe, but not catching anyone with these one-taps. Instead, goes for the next vehicle that is in sight. Will be the motorcycle that he wants to blow up to deny any point of exit from FaZe.
FaZe, that's going to be a difficult position to play around. They have two players ahead that could try and pull back in to look for the save. It's kind of difficult to try and make them move back in, and overall it looks like they might just want to hold their players there until OMG have to be the ones to move.
4 separate caravans pushing in for Liquid, and that is going to provide a lot more safety. Granted, they don't get picked off. Now FaZe, as we mentioned before, getting pinned down by Lion KK, now healing up. Maxi and First FaZe don't have all too much to work with. Will descend down the slope to get to further cover. Opting to take the long way around this one.
Doesn't look like there's a vehicle for them to pick up here as well, so they're just going to have to make a long rotation over. Supply crate actually comes over kind of nearby, but I don't think that they want to go for that. They might if they see it as an opportunity to while they're here anyway.
Yep, Fuzz is going for a swim. He should be looking to pick that up. I think the plan here is you have Maxi sort of sit slightly behind just in case they get contacted early on.
Alright, so it doesn't look like there's any other team who is making an aggressive push over, and they know this information, so they might be looking to try and go for that, but Fuzzface just cuts the corner. Being out in open water is a very risky move,
That's true.
They are looking to play things safe a little bit. There we go. Let's see, looking to try and pick this up while Fuzzface pushes forward first.
Meanwhile, Moody will get dropped here. Nerf riding in. It's a trap, man. Don't go in. He's going to get tagged up. Finally gets to the building, but barely makes it behind cover. We saw his head sticking out for a second or two. Mong might have been a bit excited to see that. Rez might definitely rather coming in here for C9 as the circle gets a bit more occupied, falling square on top of Rocket Armor, in fact, as well as Flash Wolves.
HU now camped down this house, Rocket Armor in a nearby position as well. Could be looking to try and go in a little bit of a fight. Liquid now packing up. They found space here in farm, and now moving over into the play zone. C9NA finally return damage onto LGD after the teammate got knocked down. So now just pushing into the play zone alongside HK9, alongside the likes of Liquid. Everybody's looking for a space. LGD a little bit slow on the uptake.
Liquid as well on the push, and like you mentioned, the space is important here. You really have to claim your own territory and some sort of compound to defend. HK9 going for 2 separate compounds, in fact. Splitting their forces up. C9 on the high ground. A bit of friendly fire coming in for the Korean counterparts, but it's going to be Flash Wolves. It gets knocked up here by Refund Gaming. The bullets all flying in a single shot. Will get Nones out of this game.
Dropping the first player for Flash Wolves. They're watching down the compound. The Flash Wolves are holding out, and they could look for the push in. Otherwise, taking things slow. Refund not looking to try and troll this game. They have had some better games off the second day, but still.
I want to pay attention to C9 as well as Team Liquid. You know, on the split screen, we see Refund taking the fight, getting tunneled on by Momo here. Flash Wolves landing the shots, riding away. None of them actually catching. You can see the trail of smoke just behind him, and eventually will get out, but it's only a single member. There's 3 more. The buggy is in open space. They're pretty afraid to go and take this. Approaching it might be certain death here. Momo looking away, gives a small window for Refund if they want to peek out.
Yeah, both teams. I feel like Refund, all Flash Wolves is their best mode to get a kill. They have the opportunity to DJ Ship, I believe, look to try and drive away on the bike by himself. So that's an interesting move. Actually get a knockdown onto Refund, man. I'm not sure why, onto Refund Mixie. So not sure why you want to go for that. James on the back end, get the knockdown onto Funky.
So this is a pincer here, and Liquid coming up with the kills is going to mean a lot for them as they look to transition into first place. James one tapping away in the smoke. He sees a member of FaZe in the distance, but opts to go back to his Vietnamese target still.
Refund down to very little health at this point. Trying to find a res onto the one teammate who's about to get taken down. No kill confirmation yet, so I imagine he managed to find it. And there we go, Mixie gets resed. Care package nearby as well, Rocket and Refund, the closest teams to it. But in such an open space, there's very little possibility to try and move over and pick this up.
I was just going to talk about how this is absolutely not obstructed by cover. So if you walk up and take it, either Refund or Rocket are just going to have their way with you.
Looks like C9NA might be looking to take a couple shots too if you move over. Liquid as well. So 4 teams who could try and go for the care package, but just means that no team is going to go for the care package.
Not missing out on all too much. I mean, sure, there's a ghillie suit in tier 3, but grand scheme of things, getting killed over that is not the best strategy. C9 Korea in the center of the next play zone HQ as well. There are multiple teams already inside, so 3 teams lucking out on the draw.
I have to say as well, Aerowolf have lucked out. They went over to Pachinki, they started out from that position, have constantly moved over ever so slightly, and they inch forward. No team in contest for that space, so they've constantly been able to just move in without taking damage, without having to take shots at anybody else.
But we saw the teams that didn't luck out into the safe zone were Liquid as well as C9NA that have to commit to this push now. Try to find an area that they're comfortable playing in. HK9, another one relocating into this building. A big fight going on here. Liquid Ibiza getting taken out very quickly by Moody. They're gatekeeping them, not letting them out of the compound. They're setting up this crossfire, going the way of C9 so far. EB, the first one to fall on the high ground, is James, and he's scouting out, calling the information out to his team. He's going to see Stab retreat into the house. A peek is going to guarantee a kill here if he can land the shots.
This is Liquid's opportunity to come into the top place. They have to get the early kill onto C9, take them down at 15th place, and then move forward from there.
The res coming in from Scoon onto EB, and that's a 4-for-4 still. Both teams opting to disengage. Meanwhile, LGD will find GDE here. The kill going across, and it's gonna go the way of LGD as GDE gets eliminated. Second team to fall this game. The Hong Kong home team coming in 15th place. The fourth game today.
Liquid ready to build from the situation. They just want to move to a better position in the play zone. Not looking to try and move in C9 and A. Decide to try and slowly inch forward, looking to scout things out a little bit, but here the vehicle's moving over and they should back off.
Flash Wolves have completely wrecked the site while looking for Refund Gaming. The Vietnamese representative still stuck inside this house. Funky M and his teammates can't really do anything. Mixie looking to peek out, but might be caught just on the fringe of that building. Mixlaw is going to come and flank onto Liquid, and Liquid and a whole world of hurt. Jeeves and 70 already falling down. School might be the next to go down, as well as HK9 with a massive flank on the back of Liquid. There goes Scoob. Only one more member of Liquid left. TSM now understand this and take the fight to HKM as well. Multiple teams going down across the map, and Gemty falls as well for FaZe. Mixie next for LGD.
Are you kidding me? The top three teams are just finding absolute firefights right now.
You say top three, but C9 completely untouched, and everyone here should be cheering on C9 squad because their biggest competitors are getting eliminated and decimated off the map. Maxi drops to LGD. OMG will be the target next for LGD as well.
Just caught in the crossfire. OMG trying to move in. FaZe drop multiple members. Liquid drop multiple members, and now C9KR in position to try and hold down onto Liquid. Cloud9 and A have the outskirts. This is a great position for themselves.
You can see FaZe so hesitant to push in, so much caution knowing they only have two. Liquid stuck with a single member, I believe. EB, the last member to stand here, could look to sneak into top three and maybe try and clutch things out, but as it stands, numbers advantage belonging to C9 and A.
FaZe finding return shots onto LGD as LGD makes their move into the play zone.
Rocket Armor finding the kill onto Refund. Popping the nade down, throwing it across the ridgeline, trying to make it stick onto LGD. It's square on top of them. It might just blow them up. He gets the first one onto Sin8. Not really going to find TJW just yet.
It's a difficult position. I mean, they still have FaZe in contest for that position there, so could look for shots onto OMG if they stay for too long, so they're opting to rotate instead. Yep. Smoke coming in. TJW is trying to stay alive for as long as he can.
Absolutely right. The res on the shell high. There's two fire teams split up on the left and right. OMG looking to rejoin into a single unit soon.
We've already seen LGD manage to survive into the hyper late play zones just off the stealth gameplay. So now TJW wants to make a repeat.
Now granted, we were talking about playing spoilers, and LGD really came up huge in that massive backstab onto Team Liquid. Just eliminating three members off the bat makes it so tough for them to contest first place now.
Absolutely, so now it's going to have to be...
FaZe have two, Liquid have one. EB now might get spotted out. They see his legs. HK9 takes the shot. Mixlaw, the man in charge of eliminating Liquid from this competition.
Where... Ibiza just getting taken down at this point. He's caught in between so many different teams. The second he tries to move forward, I would highly expect teams to just come in and collapse onto him.
Yeah, EB stuck in a bad position. The 2-meter tall player can't really rotate out of there. Sure, he can get in the vehicle and jet out, but still not the best idea as he's getting watched now. Aerowolf will lose a single member here in the form of RDK.
TSM, a team that we haven't really been paying much attention to in this game, are now pushing in, strong arming their way into the play zone, but right around the circumference. Smack and Rory will end up taking shots coming in though. C9 and A holding position of that.
Hexetti pushing in, will get caught out. Aerowolf pushing in as well, is going to get caught out by Sun Sisters. The crossfire is good from the Japanese squad. Now TSM make it behind this building in time. The cover is there for them to retreat and recover.
Aerowolf managed to find a knockdown. TSM, oh my goodness, the snipe coming in from Winner.
Spoke too soon. There's the shots coming in from HQ and the kill as well onto Smack. So only 3 members alive for TSM. Remember, TSM second half finishing not all too high, if I'm not wrong, only 8th or 9th position at HQ now. The Chinese as well as these Taiwanese teams really doing a lot to upset the front of the pack teams.
Yeah, the turnaround coming in from the Chinese, the Eastern teams, in fact.
Just as I say that, Flash Wolves remove Nerf from the game, and C9NA now only left with 3.
Holding true to that statement, they're managing to find the Western teams. This last game coming in has not looked good. 4 phase, 4 Liquid. LGD get wiped out. It looks like Rocket get the confirmation for that.
Rocket are the ones to get OMG and LGD, a single member from each squad down now. The Koreans doing not too good this game. HQ peeking out of the window. We'll see a single member now. Moody getting dropped by Flash Wolves.
But they've done the job. They've done what they needed to do. LGD came in, played spoiler, and have put behind the Western teams.
While the focus is on C9NA now, EB is still stuck in the same spot that we saw him in before. The counterparts, Moody going to drop now, and the C9NA counterparts, the Koreans, still have 4 members strong.
C9KR, even with 4 players, are not looking to move any more aggressively. They have strong position in the house.
They don't have to move anywhere because people are walking up to them. They get the knockdown onto a single member of Arrows and looking for the kill after that. Meanwhile, Milk is just spotting this rotation out from TSM. They see the vehicles coming in. He sees a member on the open. It's going to be EB that gets the kill, but he's going to get taken down after that by TSM. Now TSM wide in the open, have to get behind cover, just behind the rock and the Jeep. Milk taking the shots from above, raining death down.
12 plays coming in for Liquid. That's so bad for them. They wanted to push forward. All they needed to do was get a 300-point lead over FaZe in this game. No, not even all they needed to do. It was a task. It's an uphill battle to get a 300-point lead over FaZe to pull in for second. But they weren't able to do that.
Looks to be a very upsetting finish here as Arrowwolf will find another member on the ground. Sun Sisters coming in to disrupt the plans. Biking in, HK9 barely avoiding the gunfire. Rocket Armor Mia doing a good job there. What? The kill out of the fog? How did they get that shot on doing so much? HK9 now getting Hexetti out as well. The spoilers from the Eastern team and FaZe finishing 10 is horrible. The top 3 teams all completely eliminated. This is an extremely Eastern finish here, granted.
This is absolutely insane. Liquid dropping FaZe so early on to the game. Now it's down to C9. They basically can say, we've won this game. They could die at this point, and they don't have to worry.
Milk falling after doing so much work against the Western teams now. This is the grenade that's going to take out TSM. They're just pushing up HQ1. They smell blood in the water, and they're going in onto this. They blow up the cars as well for special effects, and they're going to finish them off. SR and K3 tag teaming up. But still, Rory is in the smoke, and he's hiding this one out. He can't really get picked up just yet, getting tagged down very, very low. The shots coming from the side on SR and K3. Using the first aid kit to heal up. The smoke is just disrupting so much, but eventually the grenade will do it. And Arrowwolves as well, losing another member across the map.
TSM dropping in 7th place just seconds after the loss of Arrowwolf here.
It's over, granted. First place belongs to C9, knowing that they're still alive and their competitors are out of this game. It's just the Eastern teams now fighting for pride to push themselves up in ranking.
There's only so much the rest of these teams can do. 17 alive at this point. C9NA caught in a bad position and trying to push forward, but end up taking shots from Rocket. It's going to be the first play going down to the second, and C9 get taken out.
In 6th place?
It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter because there's more than enough points for C9 to become the champions of the PUBG Invitational Hong Kong. The game is still going on. We're looking for the winner of chicken dinner in this final game for today. OMG, HQ, C9 Korea, and HK9 are still the teams that are pushing in. Rocket Armor very far outside.
C9KR with a good position off this house's HQ. Not too bad for themselves as well, but still a little bit difficult.
Rocket Armor with the delayed push. They have a good amount of firepower to get in. Rocket will get spotted out by Lion KK.
Have to mention as well, HK9 still alive, and I'm not sure exactly what he's supposed to do at this point. He's in the corner of the play zone by himself. But as Rocket rotate in, you would expect them to move into
Yo, this man is a statue, but he's not looking behind him because HQ are creeping. HQ are creeping up behind him.
Getting a view around him. There's still decent amount of high terrain, but as you mentioned, HQ, if they rotate over, could find a couple shots. Now OMG and Rocket in a bit of a firefight.
OMG are the ones that drop first. It's going to be Xiaohe that takes a knee. Rocket Armor doing a good amount of work, and Line Kick getting tagged up next. The shots connecting onto the Chinese squad.
Running out, boosts all he has. The instant heals coming in.
Rocket now find AHQ. They knock down K3 and try to get the kill, but no, the revenge is good coming in from AHQ. The cover fire, so good from the Taiwanese squad.
Soma holding silent.
I'm telling you, man, he's creeping, he sees him, he needs to pull the trigger. The patience coming in from Mong doesn't get the firepower down onto Mia. Now moving forward, the Korean might see himself getting taken down, jumping away. Mong very, very patient here. He knows that he can get more. He knows they can finish him off. If he sees the whole squad, the grenade's going out. This guy doesn't even know. He misses the shot. Did he even pull the trigger?
He hasn't even done anything yet.
He's waiting for two. He's being very greedy here. Mong waiting to see if he can get MM Yong as well. If he waits long, though, AHQ is just going to creep up behind him and take him out. It has to be now. It has to be now.
Rotates around. He just waits for Rocket instead to get rid of each other. Doesn't even bother going over the fight.
Oh, he sees him now. He's going to take the kill away. He's going to steal it away. Somehow he gets it, and he still hasn't revealed his position. HK9 Mong clutching it out. Now this call will be made. They are going to turn this corner and try and get him down. But he turns it around onto Rocket Armor. Mong is insane now. He's got a knockdown. He's gone on both feet. No longer proning. Taking the fight to Rocket Armor. He gets two down. But on his right, the flank coming in from C9. There's 4 minutes strong. He gets one, but eventually will get knocked out. There's still 3 teams left in this circle. Grandin, Mong clutching it out for HK9, but the Koreans coming in. The onslaught is unstoppable. HQ off the side, playing very cautiously. They don't want to fall into the trap of the Korean squad from C9 here. Rocket Armor still Hexa, the last one, taking his position behind the car and just being very sneaky. It's perfect cover. They don't see him.
Working off this terrain, Catch might push forward to look for Rocket in that position, but he's not doing so just yet. Instead, opting for the flank onto AHQ.
They're not checking this. They're not checking this. This could be a massive mistake.
Now looking to play spoiler, holding on, Hexa. The man standing on his team, but the play zone's starting to close in. He's trying to crawl in.
Crawling in, makes it through the tall grass, so that's going to give him a bit more leeway to hide himself. The cover is good. He throws the grenade out. They don't know where it's coming from. HQ only thing that the C9 Korean side here. A lot of disruption being thrown down, and then Nate just doing a bit of work. SR is in the middle of the smoke between 2 Koreans, and C9 Deception getting knocked down. Winner will be the one responsible for that fight.
And Winner is an absolute beast with the firing coming
in.
They're
fighting back to back. HQ getting so much done. C9 Korea might just get eliminated here.
Oh
and
my
next
goodness!
thing to go down. Hexa somehow clutching this out. He's still hidden. They don't know where he is. Now he's standing up. He's taking a fight to HQ. He's so healthy still, though.
Oh, what a shot coming in from SR, and HQ off 2 wins.
2 back-to-back wins for HQ means that they leapfrog ahead in standings, but I don't think it's enough.
It's still not enough to make it in the top 5, I believe. HQ had a rough day 1, but still a phenomenal past 2 games from HQ, turning things around. C9KR 4 versus 2.
You can see the boys are so happy with the finish. Just being on the international stage and performing like that, the execution pristine.
Just a moment of disbelief. Honestly, coming in there, and Hexa playing things so quiet all the way towards the very end. Force C9KR down to 3rd place, with Rocket coming in 2nd. Rocket needed to maintain the position they had off the first day, but today, they didn't manage to do that. They dropped the ball a little bit. That's cost them a little bit more.
Pats on the back all around from HQ, but the story of this last game is still the fact that Team Liquid FaZe failed to get ahead enough in position points to even leapfrog past C9, and that guarantees that C9 will finish first, I believe, and take home 75,000 USD.
Yeah, I think it's almost definitely going to be down to C9 at this point. HQ and Cloud9 KR were actually very close together in the standings. 7th place for HQ after the 7th game. Coming in now, they might be able to jump ahead of teams like HK9. They had a 5-point gap between HK9 after 7 games. So this one, definitely should see them pushing themselves forward a little bit. Still not into the top 5 though. I don't think it's possible to go to the top 5 at this point.
There is too big of a point disparity, I think, so maybe it might be quite a stretch to say that they can make it into top 5. As we were saying, you kind of need everything to go perfectly your way for them to sort of break into that very elusive gap.
Yeah, especially since one of the teams that was preventing them from breaking into that position was Rocket Armor, who came in second, so they still managed to capitalize off the 410 points, so only a 90-point gain for placing first.
Gatekeeping them in-game and outside of game as 1 point. That feels bad, man. A great performance still by HQ. I mean, there are multiple Eastern teams that came in. I had zero expectations for them. I was saying, you know, they're just not going to do very well just by nature of past performances. HQ finished first in the domestic league, did really poorly at PGI. Now, if you think about it, coming in twice against this top-tier teams, finishing first twice, rather. Not bad.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned that as well, because when we're looking at, I mean, you kind of have to guess, like, okay, among these guys, who are the ones that are going to fill in that space? Because we know, okay, roughly, these are the top teams, and we were right. So it's Liquid, it's Liquid, it's Liquid, it's FaZe, but then coming in, it's also Cloud9 and A. Right, so we have the top tier teams. Then we came in, okay, who's going to fill in the space? We thought there was going to be OMG.
Yeah.
OMG was going to be another team who was going to be heavily contesting that position. Instead, we see the likes of Aerowolf, of Rocket, of HK9, and of AHQ coming in here. And I think there's some kind of boost for HK9 and HQ playing on home soil because they suddenly popped off.
Home advantage here, working in the favor of the Hong Kong teams. I like your point about how OMG actually didn't do so well despite the great showing at PGI. That's it. Everything accounted for at the end of 2 days. 8 games. Some might say, you know, too small a sample size to argue, but for me, this is proof enough that there is talent. Not just, you know, in the eastern regions, but in Southeast Asia as well, with the likes of Indonesia and Vietnam coming in.
Yeah, Aerowolf definitely defied all expectations.
Maybe not so much Vietnam.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
No BM.
Yeah,
no BM. But yeah, Refund didn't have the best time in this series. I mean, coming down to Hong Kong, playing the Invitational, it was a lot on them to try and prove themselves. But unfortunately, they had a little bit of difficulty on day 1, and then day 2, when they were starting to catch the footing, at that point, it's way too late. So not able to manage to make their way up from the standings very much. Otherwise, as you mentioned, Aerowolf, a team that we hadn't expected to see perform as well. I mean, they've gone to a couple of competitions before. They've played against the likes of these international powerhouses. But then when they went into competition, kind of middle of the pack. But this time around, actually being able to push into quite a decent placing.
Question for you, Brandon. What is the secret to Milk's success? I'll give you a hint.
I think that HQ, this time around, we've been watching them for the past couple of games, and I was talking about how HQ is a very nomadic team. They move around a lot. I think they've gotten a lot more aggressive, and I think that they've been able to find themselves in a better position towards the end of the late game when they managed to push in. Because game 1 to 6, we see them, they move around. If you look at the past games, they don't really have a standard drop.
Right.
They don't really say, okay, we have to go here, we're going to try and set up for here. They just go to whatever place is the most convenient at the time. Then they move in. So honestly, I feel like they get the primary loot that they need, and then they already start rotating around. And I think that this has worked out. It just took a little while for them to get online.
Yeah, especially when we go back to the start of this game, the plane drop was sort of disadvantages to a lot of the teams coming in. Liquid liking to play around Yasnaya, not really getting the area that they wanted, and then forcing adaptations in the bottom side as well. GDE is normally unoccupied military base.
Yeah.
Had 2 more people with them. They had neighbors this time, and they had to deal with that in the form of some sisters as well as Rocket Armor. So definitely very tricky as the plane goes around. The dynamics of it work differently.
Yeah, definitely feels like that's the case, and so we see some of these teams being able to perform better than others. But at the end of the day, every single player coming in here prepared, came in, did their best. And we wait for the final results for these teams. It's a very impressive showing we've seen.
All games, winners started with A, so it's a interesting, perhaps scripted result here.
Yeah, today's games all start with A, right?
Yeah.
They're like, okay, well, what's alphabetical?
Double Arrow Wolf, double HQ.
So Alright, so Arrow Wolf is alphabetically ahead of HQ, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, if you're looking at this as a analyst, right? So this is a serious question, no more memes. If you're looking at this game or this tournament as an analyst, how do you think the showing from the Eastern teams here will reflect on the region as a whole?
I think the Eastern teams, it was a lot more fluid on their part. So moving in, there was a lot more movement than I had expected. So HQ and Flash was being very dynamic with the way they moved in. I think the difference is, and I think a lot of the coverage we see in the Western region when we talk about in-game leaders and shot callers making the decisions for the team. Being able to make a decision, even if it's wrong, is better than not making a decision at all. So the way that they execute the rotations, I can see that they obviously have some kind of plan in the decision that they go into and is prepared. But when they have so many different options to choose from and they don't choose decisively, then we see a situation like we've seen today, or rather over this competition where some of these teams, like Flash Wolves, they make a decision to rotate at different timings and it's kind of poor. Ends up getting them caught out. I think the Eastern team showing today and yesterday was a little bit lackluster. I think they need more refinement to be able to make sharp calls on what they need to do.
But at the end of the day, it is only ERANGEL that we saw. Sure, it was FPP and TPP, but only one map being showcased is still a bit suspect, I would say, because now we did see the Miramar results were quite different. We have one map on Miramar. The results were quite different. Coming onto ERANGEL only, that also speaks to a degree of like consistency, I would think.
Yeah, the results were pretty different in the sense that it started Arrow Wolves' rise to fame. So the fourth game or the fifth game and the first of today, round 5, round 6, Arrow Wolf suddenly managed to come in. So that might have been a change had we seen more Miramar games interspersed, because I think it would have necessitated teams coming in with more preparation and having to be more ready for what some of these other teams are bringing to the table. That's some of the benefits that HQ have. It's difficult to assess the kind of playstyles that they have. So moving in, Cloud9 Korea, a team that I hadn't really pegged to be that great, suddenly comes in.
經過咗咁多嘅賽事啦，終於就出咗呢一個結果出嚟啦。喺度恭喜晒 Cloud9 NA 成為香港絕地求生世界邀請賽嘅冠軍。恭喜呢香港絕地求生世界邀請賽嘅冠軍 Cloud9，the champion of Hong Kong PUBG World Invitational is Cloud9 NA. Gentlemen, great job. Please stand in the center. Yeah, right. Congratulations, congratulations. 咁呢個時候當然係頒獎嘅時候啦，有翻我哋嘅獎金大支票送到去冠軍嘅隊伍手上嘅。咁我哋有請今次活動嘅冠名贊助機構代表上台為我哋頒發香港絕地求生世界邀請賽嘅冠軍獎金，有請中國工商銀行亞洲有限公司副行政總裁顧璇先生為我哋頒發75000蚊嘅美金。May we now invite the representative of our title sponsor, Mr. Gu Zhen, the Deputy Chief Executive of ICBC Asia Limited。有請了中國工商銀行亞洲有限公司副行政總裁顧璇先生為我們頒發支票美金75000元，給我們的冠軍 Cloud9 NA。掌聲、歡呼聲加埋一齊好唔好啊？哇！真係打得好辛苦，好精彩 ！Congratulations！ 謝謝顧璇先生，請到我旁邊稍作休息。我們呢現在會頒發獎杯，我哋就頒發獎杯，再嚟一張大合照啊！咁呢個時候我哋請出頒發獎杯嘅嘉賓，有請處理商務及經濟發展局局長陳百里博士及香港旅遊發展局主席林建岳博士 GBS 嚟到台上嘅。May we now invite Dr. Bernard Chan, Acting Secretary for Commercial and Economic Development, and Dr. Peter Lam, Chairman of Hong Kong Tourism Board, to present the trophy of Hong Kong PUBG World Invitational。有請呢數理商務及經濟發展局局長陳百里博士及香港旅遊發展局主席林建岳博士 GBS 為我們頒發獎杯。太厲害啦！太開心啦！呢個時候，梗係要影翻張合照先啦。我哋 Please look at the camera。咁呢個 時候咧，我哋再請埋啦顧璇先生一齊咧嚟到台嘅中間啦，同埋我哋嘅嘉賓一齊影相嘅。Please let our guests stand at the middle. Gentlemen, please let our guests stand at the middle and have a good photo again. Yeah. Thank you. 好。
係落勾咗條啦，呢個前鋒打唔掂啊！一路咧就調整緊自己嘅位置啊。當幾隊打緊嘅時候啦 ，Cry and 喺度揾緊自己嘅目標啊，之後呢個打緊咧，一路撳緊過去。反而咧就係真係嘅戰隊咧，隔離一路嘅戰隊啦，繼續咧係有相當之好嘅表現啦，壓到埋嚟咧人數上係一定嘅優勢。Step 嘅話咧喺個煙嗰度啊，睇點樣利用個煙。PUBG 模式入邊，係啊，冇錯時間嚟打呢個新嘅劇情，有冇決定收埋一定有啲亂打低，加上壓落嘅槍啊，揸一槍好死嘅影頭啊，多得多啦。但係咧就有時黑空頭啦，攞位置遠少少都錯。 咁啊，卡拉 A 呢特別做進攻啦，4個一打2個，會唔會撞到你啫？係咪真係槍法有咁效果？可以以少勝多？咁啊，睇一睇啦，而家入呢咗一個入邊已經擊殺咗邊度 ？Billy 亦都準備攻擊啦，開咗門口仔。咁但係好可惜呢邊反而打唔過到嚟啦，好可惜卡場咧自己俾毒毒死咗啊！企山有一個嘅身，咁啊由邊打落正面撞到啊！呢邊埋嘅時候咧，又我知佢吹咗邊啊，咁長嘅位置攞三啦。咁但係做乜嘢成功報仇淘汰咗叫啦？剩翻咧就係有冇辦法連街嘅嚟自入嚟嘅戰隊 A 對住就向正方嘅 HK9，兩個打一個啦，總之一個人咧尋日係好精彩嘅孤狼，今日再一次咧係用一個人嘅身份啦，面對住 HK9啦，咁佢入邊嘅兩個咧一個打兩個，其實呢個係跳唔打啊，揾到啦，係啊，跳啦，咁啊整體啦，哇！呢度咧就蘇文德路望住兩隊對你打，我哋係一殺係殺咗啊笑容，睇幾啦呢個吹王出手，終於都到啦收啊，直接係冧咗係慢咗，呢個時候咧剩翻啊就係個幾咧最後一個嘅隊員啊，呢下咧呢度只要有人啦，終於叫我嚟清到呢個孤狼去，搶手呢邊又收埋，但係自己位置非常之危險，後面嘅手會唔會偷雞啊？我見到雙方嚟講亦都係俾後面夾嘅成隊都上嚟㗎，原來係呢個卡大幾啊，4打1啊，哇！呢個真係好嘢，有冇啲問題出嘅情況下有冇機會？呢個我哋嘅阿米成員啦，創造奇蹟，嗰個1A就完全發現到嘅位置。成功連雞啊！呢個行路版嘅 HQ 啊，最後啦，真係相信係台灣之光，特別就係
作機構代表咧上台為我哋頒發香港駐地球新世界邀請賽嘅冠軍獎金，有請中國工商。